You know, pretty much every company out there talks a big game about learning and development, L&D, right? But let's be real. How do you stop it from just being a line item on a budget, a cost center, and turn it into a real engine for growth? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into. We're going to break down how to build an L&D function that actually truly works.
So let's just jump right in with a super direct question. And I want you to really think about this for your own company. Is your L&D function truly working? I mean, really, is it just this department that's, scheduling courses and booking rooms? Or is it actually changing the game for how your business runs? It's a tough one, I know. But being honest about it, that's the absolute first step.
Okay, so to help us figure this all out, we're going to use this really cool framework. It's called the L&D Maturity Value Ladder. And look, this isn't just some boring academic model. Think of it more like a roadmap, a GPS even. It shows you the exact path to take from just being a simple training provider all the way up to becoming a full-blown business architect. So what do you say? Let's start the climb.
So this ladder we're talking about, it's got 4 main levels. Each one is a pretty big step up in terms of maturity. We're going to walk through all of them one by one. The whole idea here is that you'll be able to see it and go, aha, that's exactly where we are right now. And even better, you'll see the clear path forward to get to the very top. So here are the 4 levels, just a quick overview. We kick things off at level 1, what we call nascent, basically reactive mode. From there, we climb up to level 2, operational. This is where things get efficient. Then comes the big jump to level 3, value adding. Now we're talking about enhancing the business. And the very top, the summit, is level 4, business critical. This is where L&D becomes totally transformational.
So let's start this climb right at the very bottom at base camp. This is level 1. We call it nascent, but honestly, for a lot of places, it might be totally non-existent. A lot of startups or brand new departments find themselves right here.
So what does this stage actually feel like? Well, in a word, chaos. Total chaos. There's no real plan, no L&D team to speak of. The budget, it's either tiny or non-existent, and money only shows up when there's a fire to put out. Like, oh no, sales are down, we need sales training now, or uh-oh, we have a compliance issue. All the learning is totally ad hoc, and nobody's even thinking about mapping skills or asking the most basic question, is any of this stuff we're doing actually working?
And that really brings us to the core identity of L&D at this stage. It's nothing more than an administrative afterthought. The trigger is always, hey, we've got a problem, go call a trainer. That's it. It is 100% reactive. Just pure firefighting.
All right, let's climb to the next rung. Now this is a huge step up. This is level 2, operational. It's where all that chaos from level 1 finally starts to get organized. We're talking about real coordination, actual structure, and real processes starting to take shape.
So, what are the dead giveaways that you're in level 2? Well, for one, the classic annual training calendar makes its first appearance. Suddenly, there are actual programs scheduled. And you know what else you start seeing? Those little feedback forms after a session, the happy sheets that ask if you like the trainer. There's a real budget now, and someone's job is to actually manage all the different training vendors. It's not chaos anymore. It's organized. It's scheduled. It's efficient.
And this brings a totally new identity. L&D isn't just an afterthought anymore. Nope, now it's the efficient training coordinator. It's a real function, it's respected, it's seen as necessary. But what is it really doing? At its core, it's about logistics. It's about execution. It's about making sure all the trains are running on time.
Okay, now listen up, because this next step is maybe the most important pivot on the entire ladder. This is the move to level 3, the value-adding stage. And this is where things get really interesting. Why? Because this is the point where L&D stops just being about coordinating stuff and starts creating real, tangible, measurable value for the entire business. The whole game it completely changes. You start seeing these much more sophisticated things pop up, like defined competency frameworks. And if you're not familiar, just think of these as detailed blueprints for every single role that spell out exactly what great looks like. We also stop doing these one-off training events and start creating what are called learning journeys. And this is so important. We stop just asking people if they were satisfied, and we start actually measuring if their skills improved. Then we tie all of that directly into performance reviews. See? It's a game changer.
And yeah, that brings us right here. At the absolute heart of level 3 is this thing, the formal competency framework. You've got to think of this as the architectural blueprint for your people. It defines what good looks like, what great looks like for every job, and it becomes the solid foundation for all your development efforts. Honestly, without this, you just can't get to the value-adding stage. It's that critical.
So you guessed it, the identity shifts again, and this is a big one. L&D is no longer a coordinator. It's now a capability enhancer. Its whole job is to systematically, purposefully build the skills and abilities the organization needs to win. It's no longer reactive, it's proactive, it's strategic, and it's all about development.
And so we arrive at the very top of the ladder, the summit. This is level 4, business critical. This is the absolute pinnacle. This is where L&D stops being a support function and becomes a core, essential driver of the company's entire business strategy.
Look, at this level, L&D is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. I mean, it's looking 3-5 years into the future. It's building something called a capability architecture, which is just a fancy way of saying a strategic plan for every skill the company is going to need. They're literally building skills for jobs that might not even exist yet. It's completely woven into workforce and succession planning. And how do they measure success? Hard, cold business metrics, like ROI. No more happy sheets.
And this really gets to the core of this new role. L&D isn't just reacting anymore. It's not even just enhancing. It is architecting the entire human side of the business. It's designing the organization's ability to compete, its ability to win, not just right now, but for years and years to come. And so, the ultimate identity is finally unlocked. The organizational capability architect. This is L&D as a true strategic partner. It's got a seat at the main table, right there with the top leadership, actively shaping the future of the entire company by designing the capabilities of its people. Okay, so we've mapped out the whole landscape, right? You probably have a pretty good idea of which rung your organization is sitting on right now. So the big question is, how do you actually climb higher? Let's get practical and look at the path forward. All right, so that jump from being operational at level 2 to being value-adding at level 3, this is where so many companies get stuck. So let's break down the key shifts you have to make. Your focus has to change from just an annual training calendar to creating these defined learning journeys. Your whole foundation has to move from a basic training needs analysis to building that formal competency framework we talked about. And your measurement, this is huge. You have to stop caring so much about satisfaction and attendance and start obsessing over actual competency improvement. It's a total mindset shift. And what about that final massive leap to level 4? Well, this is a whole other level of upgrade. You've got to align your entire capability architecture with the long-term business strategy. You need to get good at predictive analytics so you can see skill gaps coming from a mile away. Your team needs to become experts in things like change management and culture building. And you absolutely must be able to measure and prove the direct business ROI of what you're doing. It's a huge step. So, when you step back and look at this whole journey, this entire climb, the view from the top is just incredible. Because climbing this ladder isn't really about just doing L&D a little bit better. It's about completely changing what L&D even is and what it's capable of doing for a company. So if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. This whole journey is about an evolution. It's about transforming L&D from a simple, reactive training provider into a proactive, strategic business capability architect. It's a massive shift in identity, in skills, and in the impact you can have. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final, very personal question. Look at this ladder again. Be honest with yourself about where you are right now. And then ask yourself this. What is the one single step? It could be big, it could be small, but what is the one thing you can do tomorrow to start your climb?